There's a Chicago Bears free agent target out there that no one is talking about, and there's a reason for that. But I'm going to talk about him on today's show. Let's get into it. Could Javon Hargrave be a player that the Bears sign? Harrison Graham here with another episode of Chicago Bears Now. The San Francisco 49ers, this kind of slipped through the cracks, announced at the end of the regular season that they were going to designate Hargrave a post-June 1 cut. He only played in 3 games this year before he tore his triceps and missed the rest of the season on injured reserve. And if you remember, it's hard to know how much, but they were in on Javon Hargrave in 2023 free agency. He was a player we talked about here after he had a big season with the Philadelphia Eagles, and now he's set to be a free agent once again. Like I said, John Lynch confirmed about a month ago now, it's kind of slipped through the cracks, that Hargrave will be a post-June 1st cut, and he's still a player I'm pretty interested in what he could bring to this Bears defensive line. Here's what Lynch had to say about Hargrave. Quote, "It gives him an opportunity to go see what his market is, and it may include us. Would we be interested in having him back? Of course. Is that something we've come to an agreement on, and is that something that fits in our plans? We'll see." So in other words, if they cut him and his market is not good at all, they could bring him back. I expect him to sign with another team because I think he'll at least have a decent market. I think this is a sneaky name to watch for the Chicago Bears. They've been interested before. They still have issues along their defensive line. They definitely need another defensive tackle, and he is someone that is a pretty damn good interior pass rusher, which we watched really the league the last few years, but the Super Bowl, once again, interior pass rushers make a huge difference in this league. You look at his past 4 years, like I said, this year he had the season-ending injury, but he's been pretty damn consistent for a few years now. Obviously, that 2022 season with Philadelphia really stood out. That's why I was pushing for the Bears to sign him. Now, San Francisco gave him 4 years and $84 million, and where the Bears were in that second year of a rebuild, probably didn't make sense to give him that at the time, and I think that's played out. Obviously, couldn't predict an injury, but now, at this point, with him getting cut and being a little older, you might be able to get him on a pretty decent price tag. And I do want to make the note, too, Javon Hargrave is not injury prone. Now, he's coming off an injury, and now that he's a little bit older, could he be moving forward? I guess. But he's never missed more than 1 game in his career until last year. He's been very healthy, and for a trenches player, I would say exceptionally healthy. Like, typically guys in the trenches are just going to miss time because they're just getting beat up so much in there. He's been a guy that has been able to stay healthy. And a triceps, it's kind of a fluky injury. It's not like it's an ACL or one of these soft tissue things that is built up over time. He's been able to stay on the field. So I'm pretty interested. We'll take a look at some other angles here in a moment, but I want you guys to chime in first. Should the Bears sign Javon Hargrave? Type S for sign or P for pass. Pinned comment on today's video, so if you get hit with the YouTube ad break after this, we will discuss more on Javon Hargrave. I'm very interested if the price is right. What would that line be? You know, I don't think he's getting like 15, 18 million per year. I think you're looking at a 1-year deal with, you know, I don't know, is it 8 to 12 million bucks? Like, I don't think he's going to cost a crazy amount of money. I just really don't. And I look at what the Bears have. I like their top 2 defensive tackles. I think Javon Dexter is an ascending 3-tech. Is he a all-pro? Probably not, but I think he's a good player. Andrew Billings is a great 1-tech. He's a good run stuffer. Those 2 guys can play. Zach Pickens is a bust. I mean, maybe that changes with Dennis Allen, but I doubt it. Chris Williams is a restricted free agent. Byron Cowart, he's a free agent. Like, I just look at this and I'm like, you need at least 1 defensive tackle, if not 2. Like, you bring Hargrave in here to just be like your number 3 guy who could also start if needed. I really, really like that quite a bit. So let's get to some pros and cons of signing Javon Hargrave, because it's not all just sunshine and rainbows. Number one, the point we've made throughout this video and for months now, and really since Matt Eberflus has been here and Ryan Bowles, Eberflus not here anymore, obviously, is the Bears need defensive line help. They need more bodies, and specifically pass rushers. To me, you have 2 notable pass rushers. Montez Sweat, who in a perfect world is a run stopper first, and Javon Dexter. Andrew Billings is not a pass rusher. DeMarcus Walker's a rotation guy. He's fine. We don't know what Austin Booker is. You need pass rushers, and this guy's an interior one. Number 2, to that point, he brings that to the table. Like, you could stagger Javon Dexter and Javon Hargrave. And think about, like, the NASCAR package, which is what these teams refer to, like clear passing downs on third down. You slide Dexter over to nose. You bring Hargrave into the 3-tech spot. Montez Sweat, ideally you have another good edge rusher. Maybe it's DeMarcus Walker in that situation. Who knows? But NASCAR packages with Dexter and Hargrave next to each other is pretty appealing, I think, especially if they're both coming from the interior. That's going to be tough to slow down. And number 3, I don't think you're going to have to break the bank here. Like, I really don't. I think Javon Hargrave is a player that you can get on a 1-year reasonable deal. Now, there will be interest. It's not like the Bears will be competing alone, but he just signed for $21 a year. What, are you cutting that in half? I don't think it's going to be a pretty penny at all. Now, we'll get to some cons here in a minute, but first, I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor, Mando. What's that smell? It's Valentine's Day just around the corner, and you don't want to be the smelly guy on your date because a non-negotiable is deodorant. Fellas, you've got to get going with Mando, because if it's a first date or a big date, whatever the occasion, you don't want to be smelling bad. And how about whole body deodorant? Because that is what Mando really specializes in and offers with their several different products. I personally love the deodorant wipes because if you're on the move a lot, if you're out and about, you can just pull out a couple of those and wipe from head to toe, and you're going to be smelling good as new, as if you got out of the shower. Don't have time to run home after a round of golf? These wipes will have you covered. Mando is clinically proven to control odor for up to 72 hours and better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor was a 5 out of 10 on the level scale. With Mando, it was a 0 out of 10. It'll stop odor before it starts with Mando, as all of their products are baking soda free and paraben free. If you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, you can find them in Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. So check out Mando today. Their starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with the solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. As a special offer for our audience here at Bears Now, you'll get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code CHAT, C-H-A-T. That equates to about 40% off, a little more than 40% off the starter pack. So use code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Code CHAT, $5 off. Get started with Mando today. That link and promo code is in the comments and description of this video. Okay, cons if you go after Javon Hargrave. He does not defend the run much. And I would imagine at this point in his career, coming off an injury, ideally you use him as a pass rush specialist. Like, he plays maybe half the snaps, maybe 60%, and he rushes the passer. Obviously, there's going to be plays where he's on the field defending the run, and you just hope he's adequate, but he's not going to be a plus there. Number 2, he is coming off an injury. He's not injury-prone historically, but over 30 years old, just turned 32. As you bring that into it, could injuries start to creep in? Of course. As you get older, as a professional athlete, you're more susceptible. That's just reality. I'm 31 years old. I don't feel as, every once in a while my back will tighten up on me. I'm not 20 anymore. That's just kind of how things go. That's true for professional athletes as well. And, he's not a spring chicken. He's not going to, probably be an all-pro. But can he be a productive pass rusher? Can he be a good player? Would he help a unit that desperately needs it? I think so. And if you want just a comp for a contract, remember when the Bears signed Yannick Ngakoue, who wasn't that great here, but just from a contract standpoint, I think it was 1 year, $10 million. I could see something similar. 1 year, $10 million, maybe it's $8 million, incentives up to 12 or something. I don't think it'll cost a lot. I think he could come in, be your third defensive tackle. You could stagger him with Dexter at that 3-tech spot, and he could give you some production. His pass rush grade per PFF year after year after year, like the low end is in the low mid-70s. He's been in the 90s a few times. He is an excellent interior pass rusher. And sure, he tore his triceps, but those legs should be pretty fresh this upcoming season. So I like this. People aren't talking about it because when you look up at like these top free agents websites, he's not there because he has technically not been cut yet. But the 49ers have announced they are going to cut him with the post-June 1 designation, which means he will be able to sign with the team immediately once he does get cut. And if the Bears make a move like this, if they make a big move, we'll go live. But any move, we're breaking it down. We're making a video here on the channel. So subscribe. It's free. Turn on those notifications by clicking the bell icon and selecting all. What that'll do is every single time we publish a video or go live, you will get a notification on your phone immediately. So hit the sub button and turn on the notifications. All right, did want to just hit a couple nuggets on Trey Smith. Brad Biggs did a Q&A article with the Tribune today, and he typically drops some nuggets in there. So just kind of wanted to react to his thoughts there. He was asked, basically, are the Chiefs going to let him hit free agency, especially after their O-line struggled in the Super Bowl? He said, quote, I can tell you at the midpoint of the season, sentiment around the league was that there was little chance the Chiefs would allow Smith to depart. That shifted significantly by the end of the season, with folks I chatted with expecting him to reach the open market. Based on what I've heard previously, I would say there's still a good chance Smith becomes a free agent, and if he does, you can expect him to reset the market as the top-paid guard in the league, which we've talked about. The Bears would have competition if he's a free agent. He also wrote in there that he admitted he had the same thought as well after that Super Bowl, but based on the last conversations he had, he still would bet on him becoming a free agent than not. My just 2 cents, I have to think the Chiefs are going to try to re-sign him. Now, I don't think the Chiefs would make him the highest-paid guard. So it could be one of those where they approach Smith, they offer him $18 to $20 million per year or something like that, and they say, hey, this is on the table, and he might say, no, I'm going to test the market, and then, we could come back together depending on what's out there for me. I doubt they would make him the highest paid guard in NFL history before free agency open, but I do think they'll probably negotiate and try to get a deal for him. But if I'm Trey Smith, this is my one chance to get paid, right? Like, I want to hit free agency. If the Chiefs aren't offering me a deal to make me the highest paid guard in the league, I'm going to see if another team will, because chances are someone will, whether it's the Bears or the Patriots or the Commanders or one of these teams that have a lot of cap space and need offensive line help. Even a team like the 49ers could look at Trey Smith, as their O-line has had some issues other than Trent Williams the last couple of years. We know what the story is in Chicago. They need offensive line help, whether it's Trey Smith, whether it's Drew Dahlman, whether it's Will Fries, whether it's a combination. They need guys outside of Darnell Wright. I can live with Braxton Jones for another year, but the entire interior, or at least two of those spots, needs to be new faces. And I do get the sense that Trey Smith is plan A. I think that is the Bears' plan A. Like, I think if he hits the market, they will make a strong offer. But they do need a plan B. Like, you need to be prepared that the Chiefs get a deal done, and they will be, because you always have to assume that good players could get re-signed before free agency opens, because if not, you're quite frankly just not doing your job. So I'd be curious to see what that plan B is, but I do feel confident that plan A is Trey Smith, at least to a point. Maybe they have a price point that they're not willing to cross, but we'll have to wait and see on that, as we are less than a month away from the legal tampering period opening. So we'll see if the Chiefs extend him before then, or if he does become a free agent. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Chicago Bears Now. Keep an eye on Javon Hargrave. I'm telling you, hit that subscribe button. We'll have a video tomorrow morning, and then we'll be live tomorrow at 4 o'clock Central Time with the new mock draft as part of that live show, so you don't want to miss that. Subscribe and bear down.